In this video, I'm going to show you how to set up your Promata Mata T2 tire pressure monitor for trucks. First off, we turn on the display by holding the left and the set button at the same time. To turn off the display, we hold the left and the set button at the same time. To change the unit selection, we enter settings mode by holding the set button until we hear a beep. The first parameter that we can set is the pressure unit selection. So we can use the right button to change that parameter into a bar. We can press it again to change it back to PSI. Once you have made your selection, you can exit by holding the set button. Now we will move on to temperature unit selection. Enter settings mode by holding the set button until you hear a beep. The pressure unit selection will pop up on the screen. We move on to the next parameter by pressing the set button once. Now the temperature unit selection will flash on the screen. We can use the right button to change this parameter to Fahrenheit. Once you have selected your desired temperature unit, hold set until you hear 2 beeps to exit. Now we will set the tire pressure alarm for the front axle. Enter settings mode by holding the set button until you hear a beep. Press the set button twice. Until you see the parameter for the front axle tire pressure alarm. Use the left or right button to adjust this baseline pressure alarm as you like. So the alarm will be automatically set at plus or minus 25% of this baseline pressure. So the high pressure alarm would be 25% more than this baseline. The low pressure alarm would be 25% less. Once you have finished making your selection, exit by holding the set button until you hear 2 beeps. Now we will set the rear axle tire pressure alarm. Enter settings mode by holding the set button. The pressure unit selection will flash on the screen. Now press the set button 3 times. You'll see the rear axle pressure alarm showing up on the screen. Now use the left or right button to adjust this baseline pressure alarm as you wish. When you're done, you can exit by holding the set button until you hear 2 beeps. Now we will set the high temperature alarm. Enter settings mode by holding the set button until you hear a beep. Now press the set button 4 times until you arrive at the high temperature alarm setting. Now use the left or right button to adjust the high temperature alarm as you wish. Exit by holding the set button until you hear 2 beeps. Now we will set the front tire or all tire view. Hold the set button until you hear a beep. Move on to the front tire or all tire view setting by pressing the set button 5 times. Use the right button to change the all tire view to the 2 tire view, or change it back again. Once you have made your selection, exit by holding the set button until you hear 2 beeps. The TPMS will only show the front 2 tire pressures and will not rotate to the back ones. Okay, now we can turn the alarm sound on or off. Hold the set button until you hear a beep. Now, press the set button 6 times. Currently, the alarm sound is on. You can turn this off by pressing the right button. You can turn it on again by pressing the right button again. Once you have made your selection, hold set until you hear 2 beeps to exit. Next is the tire swap function. Enter settings mode by holding the set button until you hear a beep. Now, press the set button 7 times. You will see C1 and the left front tire flashing on the screen. If you don't want to perform a tire swap, simply skip over this part by pressing the set button twice. If you're ready to make a tire swap, you can select the first wheel by using the left or right button to choose your first tire. If you change your mind, just simply go back to the left front tire and skip over it by pressing the set button twice. Now, after we have selected our first tire position, we can choose our next tire position by pressing set button once. You will see C2 flash on the screen. Now select your second tire to swap with the first tire. For example, I will select this tire. Now once you have made your selection, you can exit by holding the set button until you hear a beep. Then the tire selection will be done. As you can see, this tire position has swapped to this tire position. To change it back, we can enter settings mode again. Press set button until we see C1 flashing on the screen again. You can select these 2 tires again and swap them back. There we go. To quickly check the temperature, press the right button. We'll see a little temperature unit signal here. You can check the tire's temperature 2 at a time. If you want to quickly check the pressures, press the left button.